Hi, welcome to the Entropy TV studio. Today I'd just like to give you a few tips on video making. I've made about 400 videos now for YouTube. Most of them are pretty silly videos, but over the last couple of years I have learned a few little tricks. And one of the main things I learned is that a video, it's not just the pictures you see, the sound influences it a lot. So if there's any way you can, try and get yourself some sort of alternative way of recording the sound. I'm using this little Zoom machine here, but you could use a tape recorder or just find something else to record the sound, and that's why you need the clapperboard. If you haven't got the clapperboard, just click your fingers 2 times, because then you can line up your waveform and it's easier to find 2 clicks than 1 click. So that's the first tip. The next tip is get yourself a hat, a director's hat and some director's sunglasses, because you've got to get into the part. And don't be embarrassed when you're making a film. I've made films with people, with my parents, with people who are not really into it, and they always said, "Oh, you're daft, don't be silly, we're not doing that." But just get people into the feeling of doing it and taking it a little bit seriously, but with fun as well. And then they'll say afterwards when you make the film that even big actors like Jack Nicholson, Johnny Depp and God knows who, they've got to sort of act a bit daft as well, but at the end product is worth it. So don't be shy and don't be worried about people looking at you and thinking you're stupid, because that don't make it, that's not a problem. The more you make films, the more you get into seeing everything as a scene, and it just becomes natural in your head. You start seeing one scene blending into the other scene, and you're thinking 4 scenes ahead while you're making one scene, and that comes absolutely natural. And you'll find yourself thinking, "Oh yeah, I'll take this shot, and then we'll move into that shot." And so you're already planning your next shot, and it's a real nice ongoing creative process. The next thing is try and be a bit aesthetic in your pictures. Try and be a bit aesthetic in the form, in the composition of your picture. For example, just from one scene to another scene, try and find some motive that takes the viewer along to the next scene. For example, maybe in the corner there's something circular, a statue's head or something. And when you blend into your next scene, try and find something roughly that shape that leads people's minds a little bit into the next scene. So subconsciously they'll be thinking that round thing there, and then when the next scene comes and there's another round thing there in the corner, they feel happy going into the next scene and it looks smooth then. You might think I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and you're probably right. I've made a little bit of money from the films, but nowhere big money. I've paid for all my equipment with my films. I'm just using standard definition camera. It's not an expensive one. Run-of-the-mill Canon FS10, I don't even think it's available anymore. But another trick I've found is set your camera on manual and play around with the controls, because you'll find that on manual your camera can perform much better if you learn how to set the exposure settings and various other settings, manual focus, and you'll find you can get much better looking shots then. A tripod is good because you can set it up and it always looks steady. It doesn't have to be a fancy one, as long as there's something there steady to hold the camera. And with a tripod you've got more opportunities to do things. For example, you can see this shot now and it looks a bit sort of sideways. I did that for a reason, because if you do a sideways shot like that, it can convey a feeling of suspense. Now if we just put some music in, now we've got a bit of a horror film effect perhaps. Collect loads of props, different hats, maybe the different sunglasses. Just keep doing all the ideas, let the ideas flow, and the more ideas you get, the more ideas come. That's a fantastic thing about making films.